Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's the last year movie, 2020 movie, Fatman is what it's called, with Mel Gibson and Walter Goggins. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the outcomes of all the stuff you've been watching, tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. I just changed it out today, as a matter of fact. Also, I have all the links to my social media, so Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and I also have the links to my channel, my YouTube channel here, my Facebook page, and for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. So, as promised, this part's the spoiler-free version of it. So, yeah, this movie came out, of course, during the pandemic. I guess Mel had done two movies, this one and the one with Frank Grillo. Was it Final Boss or Big Boss or something? Basically like a video game kind of, Big Boss kind of thing. And this movie. And really what this movie's about is literally that a child gets a lump of coal and he's rich, or he has access to money, shall we say, and he hires a hitman to kill Santa, because Santa's the one who gave him the lump of coal. Walter Goggins is the hitman and Mel Gibson is Santa. And there you go. That's the premise of this whole thing. Santa's real, and Boss Level, that's the name of it. Thank you, Raymond. Boss Level. So yeah, this I was not about to pay for it, quite honestly. It was an interesting concept. I was looking at it, but I wanted to see it for free. So I kept waiting. I signed up for the Peacock. Actually, Peacock just became available on Amazon TV, I should say, or Amazon Fire. And I actually sideloaded it anyway already, but I was having problems. But now it's actually better. So it's free on Peacock. It's got a few commercial, like 2 or 3 commercial breaks, somewhere around there. Is it worth your time though at this point? Yeah, actually it's not a bad movie. It's not great by any means, but it was an interesting concept, and it's just twisted enough that it kind of falls in my wheelhouse of things. Also, I like Walter Goggins. Mel Gibson, Sugar Tits there is he's trying to win his way back into people's hearts. And I think with everything he's done, he's really kind of not going to get there. So yeah. But like I said, it's a fun movie. It's you have a hitman who already has a beef with Santa as it is, and now he's getting paid to go after Santa. And my only thing is it takes too long in the setup of this. That's my only gripe about it is it takes way too long in the setup. We could have gotten there a little faster. I want to say I would say about half an hour faster, maybe 20 minutes faster, somewhere around there. So, Raymond says it's good if you want to just shut your brain off and watch a weird action movie like Wanted or American Ultra. I liked American Ultra. I've got it on Blu-ray someplace around here too. American Ultra was a weird movie, but it was good. Wanted, on the other hand, because I read the comic first, like a long time ago, it ruined it for me. The comic is so much better than the movie, and they basically destroyed the comic. They really did. It was, yeah. I mean, honestly, if Mark Millar still had the rights to it, and was doing the stuff with Netflix that he's doing, that would be the movie I would say that he would definitely have to make. Um, he really, I'm not going to. Going back to Fat Man, yeah, it's definitely an okay movie if you've really got nothing else to do and you want to watch an action movie for a little over an hour and a half, and there you go. That's where you're at. And like I said, Walter Goggins is always a joy to watch. Mel Gibson, he's okay. So, with that said, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the movie now at this point. So, if you haven't seen the movie, you can go and watch it or not. It's up to you. I already said it's worth your time. So, you've already seen that. But yes, I'm saying it's spoiler alert. We got that going on, okay? Yes. All right. All right. It's actually fairly handy having Modoc back here to put that in there, and I can just leave my spoiler alert sign out and about. Um, so yeah, the whole thing with the elves, uh, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more with the elves too, because they were just kind of weird enough where I kind of want a little more about the elves. The whole thing with the military, I did like the whole fact that Santa is contracted by the U.S. government in order to boost. Basically, he's the thing that drives the economy in the U.S. During Christmas. He's one that gets the economy rolling because he still delivers presents and whatnot, but he's very grumpy about it. And uh, I thought that was mildly interesting, but I wanted a little bit more. And then also Mrs. Claus, Ruth, we get nothing on whatsoever. So there was a lot of room to expand on all of this, but they mainly just kind of built on I guess they just kind of more built on uh not even really world building, but just kind of like nuances in the character. That's pretty much all they were doing. They didn't really do a lot of world building on that. So they presented stuff but didn't follow through on a lot of it. It could have been better, let's just say that. Cordell Fenneval says Dragged Across Concrete, The Professor, and The Madman are two recent good movies. Yeah, I agree with you on The Professor and The Madman. Mel Gibson and Sean Penn in that one. That was a surprise. I think I found that on Netflix a couple of years, like 2 years ago, I want to say something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, that was actually decent. This is interesting. Like I said, it's just, I mean, it's one of those middle of the road kind of things. Hey, Penn, no problem. You're working just like I am, so it happens. Um, so yeah, worth your time. Like I said, it's a quirky film. It you could tell it was made with a lower budget in mind, and maybe on somebody's farm, someplace, out in Montana or Wyoming or something like that. But yeah, and the whole hamster thing was just weird, man. Walter Goggins' character, having the hamster and bringing the hamster with him in the car and on the road trip, and that was just a weird kind of, like I said, the nuance detail kind of thing that yeah, you really didn't need on that whole road trip alone. You could have excised out and put in more exposition as to what was going on. You could have done more world building on that one. That is where it suffered, is where you just had him going across the border into Canada and then driving north, and it just kept going on and on. And it's just like, yeah, you could have shortened that up pretty much. Cordell Fenwell says, I recommend Dragged Across Concrete if you haven't watched it yet. I have not watched that one. I haven't heard of that one. What was it? The Gringo, I think is what it was, or Gringo, that he did a few years back. That one's actually pretty good, I have to admit. Yeah, if you haven't watched, that one, that's actually a good one too. What else has Goggins been in recently where he shown? I feel like I've seen him more recent. So Justified, of course. He played the villain in Justified. Over all the seasons, he was basically Wayland's foil throughout all of Justified. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Um, Fuck, what else has he been in? He's actually been doing some voice work too. So I know he's been doing that as well. Let me see where we got. I'm actually just putting it into IMDb. Oh, come on. Give me a sec here. IMDb's being fickle. Most likely because of my Hateful Eight. Dude's been in like everything recently. So I mean, oops. Come on. I might be spelling his name wrong, which is kind of weird. All right, hang on just 1 second. Oh, I'm spelling his name right. I don't know why. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why they aren't. Oh, Walton, not Walter. Walton Goggins. Walton Goggins. I apologize. I don't know why I keep calling him Walter, but it's Walton. He was in Predators as well. Um, Shit, he was in Invincible. He plays Cecil. Actually, he voiced Cecil in Invincible. Um, and let's say he's in the Unicorn, which is another TV series. Um, the Righteous Gemstones. He was in that too. Deep State, another TV series. Six, another TV series. Like I said, Ant-Man the Wasp. He was in Tomb Raider, the remake of Tomb Raider that just came out. Not just came out, but 2-3 years ago, somewhere around there. Um, yeah, he's been in lots of stuff. Sons of Anarchy, Django Unchained, GI Joe Retaliation, Machete Kills. He's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah, The Shield Show. Yeah. So, like I said, he's been in a lot of things, and actually, he's going to be in more stuff too. I know he's been hired on to do a couple other things as well. I actually really like Walter Goggins as an actor. He's just actually really good. He's funny, and he can also be terrifying at the same time, and I like that. Yeah. Raymond says, so is Gibson too famous to be canceled? I remember he said some pretty heinous things. He's been marginalized quite a bit, and he's tried making, atonements, if you will, for the stuff that he's done or said. And every now and then he kind of fucks up again, and everyone remembers what he did. Yeah. It was kind of fun. I ended up there was a buddy of mine, a good buddy of mine. It's his birthday today. Hey Warren, if you're out there, and so I just said happy birthday, sugar tits to him. That's what I messaged him this morning, just because sugar tits for some reason is just a funny fucking moniker that he came up with that drunk. It was bad in the situation. Don't get me wrong. What he did was bad, but I'm using that just for my friend right now. That's all. I just call him Sugar Tits. Him, yes. He took it in the perfect, tone that I intended it. At least he saw the message because he saw that and started laughing. Yeah, his early days are great. Gallipoli, um, the year of oh fuck, the one that he was in Vietnam. Fuck, I can't remember that one. What it's called now. Um, And I mean, yeah, he actually has a really huge library of films, um, which his early stuff is awesome. And I mean, he really did have, uh, I mean, he did have a good acting pedigree, I guess you could say. He had a really good start for it. And then, I don't know, he went weird. Yeah. So yeah, Mad Max, of course, Gallipoli, like I said, The Year of Living Dangerously. There we go. The Bounty, which a lot of people shit on, but it actually wasn't a bad rendition of Mutiny on the Bounty. That was actually not bad. Hamlet was fucking horrible. That was god awful. Forever Young would have been okay if it hadn't been done a couple of years before and called Late for Dinner, is what that was. And actually was written by the same guy who did Buckaroo Banzai. Yeah, and they out and out just stole that movie. Yeah. Tequila Sunrise. Yeah, Ransom wasn't that great. But then again, that was a Ron Howard movie. That's why. And it was Ron Howard trying to be badass. And it's just like, yeah, I'm sorry, Opie Cunningham doesn't work. You know? But yeah, going back to Fat Man here, uh, the one, again, one of the little nuance things is when he, as Santa, is on the phone and he needs to make up the money because he's basically he gets paid the amount of gifts that he's given out, and it's dwindled because children are shits, is what's going on. And so they've been a lot of them are on the naughty list. So he gives out very few presents now. So his check is cut in half, and he's out there, trying to basically use his elves and to farm them out to manufacture stuff. And he's on the phone with these guys, and he's using the little hand, strengthener, and it's steel. And he's like, and he snaps it, and then he opens up his drawer, and he's got a couple of them in there because he snaps them all the time. And it's made out of steel, and he's snapping these things. Like I said, again, it goes into the nuance of the characters and things like that, where you really didn't need to go into that much detail. You could have put more into some of the story and fleshed out the story a little bit more, but instead it kind of went more into character nuances. I want to say the guy who made this movie might have been a writer. I'm thinking about this. I mean, I don't know who directed this. I'm actually looking right now. Oh, there's two directors. So they were both the writers too. So Ian and Eshholm Nelms is what their name is. They are the ones who both wrote and directed this. Writer directors grew up in Central California, waging 200-man GI Joe wars. Okay. Blah 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 blah. And yes, they haven't really made anything like, yeah, anything you can actually. I've never heard of any of these things other than Fat Man. There you go. The Lethal Weapons. Yeah, the Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 were good. Even 3 has its moments. 4 is just fucking ridiculous, though. It really is. Yeah, Braveheart. But Braveheart has become a joke in and of itself, too. I mean, now it really is. Especially the whole speech thing when he's riding back. I mean, people make fun of that thing now where he's riding back and forth in front of the people and doing the big speech to, you know. Oh, as I was watching I started watching The Last Kingdom, even though it's canceled on Netflix. There's fucking 4 seasons of The Last Kingdom. So I'm watching it, and even they made fun of it in an indirect way in the first season, where you've got King Alfred making his speech to rouse up the troops, and Ulred, Ulred, I can never pronounce his name, had told him previously Don't do a sermon. He goes, just basically talk about revenge, killing, and plunder. That's pretty much it, is what he told them. And that is pretty much you know, the Mel Gibson speech. And of course, that's what he does. He kind of does that whole, which I thought was fucking funny. I didn't get it at first, and then as they started going along, I'm like, "Oh, okay. So you're doing the millennial kind of ironic thing, but setting it in a period of time before Wallace." Okay, I got it. Raymond says, "Why do you think old men getting revenge movies are so compelling? Because of Miller's The Dark Knight Returns?" Uh, no, they're just fantasy movies is all they are, Raymond. As Look, dude, as men get older, they want to think that they're still badasses and shit like that, and so these kind of movies exist for that. Uh in real life, old men are gonna get that shit fucking kicked out of them. I'm sorry to say. Um, yeah, I don't pick fights or anything like that shit. I have a big mouth too, so I mean but I know when to keep that big mouth shut. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's the only reason why these movies exist is they're fantasy movies is really what they are. I mean, you can go back to Charles Bronson in Death Wish, and I want to say that's kind of where it starts because you really don't see them in the 50s, you don't see them in the 60s. Um, you definitely don't see them in the 40s, of course. And it basically starts in the 70s when things started getting a little bit more rougher around the edges, and you have society is meaner is really what it is, and so and rougher. So that's why you have these fantasy movies about people getting revenge, about old people getting revenge or something like that. So Raymond says, "Fat Man, The Equalizer, Nobody, or Wick. Who you taking? You mean who would I want to have fight for me, kind of thing? Well, Fat Man's invincible, essentially. I mean, he gets shot in the fucking head in the eye, and he comes back to life. So that would be your ultimate there. Wick, of course, just kills every motherfucker in the room, though. So I mean, you have all of that. I haven't seen Nobody. And the Equalizer, which one are you talking about? The Denzel Washington Equalizer, the Woodward Equalizer from the 80s, or I think there's a new Queen Latifah Equalizer that's going to be coming out. So you have to differentiate between which Equalizer you're talking about on that one. No, Wick does not look. He's 52, 53, Keanu Reeves, somewhere around there. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, did you say, "Oh my god," about the Queen Latifah Equalizer pen? Yeah, that one was announced and kind of snuck under the radar, and I'm like, "Fuck, really?" I mean, come on, I thought Denzel Washington was still making these movies, but I guess maybe he just did 2 and he's like, "Nah, fuck it, I'm out." You know? Cordell Fennerwell says, Odenkirk did an incredible job in Nobody. I'll see it eventually. It's just I wasn't about to go into a movie theater to go and, to see it. And that's all they were doing. They were going, "You're gonna see it in a movie theater, you're not gonna see it at all." And I'm like, "Fine, I'm not gonna see it at all. I can wait." Oh, Keanu's 56. Okay, he's 56. There we go. Man, I mean, for a while there, he almost lost the ability to walk. And that was during the whole Matrix movies. He actually had damage to his spine. Movie Fanobi, thank you. You didn't need to do that. Can't believe you watched this. Thanks for saving me. Well, it's on Peacock. Movie Finobi for free. You get a couple of commercials in between. So I mean, and the commercials kind of save it. Otherwise, I would have probably paused it at some point and gotten up and done the stuff anyway that I was doing. So yeah. Nobody streamed for like $10, really, Raymond? That is still too much for me. Sorry. I am not a Bob or Odenkirk fan. I'm really not. I know there's a lot of people that swear by him and Better Off Saul. I fucking can't stand it. I don't know why. I've tried, and it was on before Preacher is what it was on before, and I tried watching it and I couldn't. I just ended up. I'd put it on mute and wait until Preacher came on. Yeah, because oh no, I couldn't do it. I don't know what it is about him. Uh he doesn't do it for me. And I think it's because I know that he was a comedian beforehand, and he's a comedy writer. He was a comedy writer before all of this. And then him coming out as an action star or whatnot, it didn't jive with me for some reason. Yeah, exactly, Joker. He's okay as a ensemble actor with other characters, but by himself as a leading man doesn't work for me. It's kind of like Anthony Mackie, man. Anthony Mackie, he's a great actor within an ensemble cast, but you throw him in as a leading man, it doesn't work for me for some reason. Yeah. I mean, get Denzel Washington's kid in there, and then I'll watch it. Because he actually holds a fucking movie. Tenet was shit, and he was actually the most compelling thing in it. Raymond says, "Have you seen The Accountant with?" I saw The Accountant with Affleck. I don't know why, but it made me laugh. It really, that's probably the wrong reaction to it. I mean, um, I'm sorry, but for me, Affleck looks like he's a fucking clown. He really is, and yeah, yeah. I mean, his Batman looked right, but his Bruce Wayne sucked. And Bale's the only one that actually got Batman and Bruce Wayne right. He really is. Out of everybody. There, I said it. Because you need to get Batman and Bruce Wayne correct. And I remember Bale it was a video thing that he did at Comic-Con because he wasn't there in person. And he said, he even said, Bruce Wayne is the mask that Batman wears. Bruce Wayne is really Batman. And I was like, fucking A, we got an actor who actually understands this. And that's how he played it. And I was like, there you go. Cordell Fenneval says, come on, really? Better Call Saul and nobody proves you wrong, in my opinion. Dude, we all have varying opinions. I know. And I can't help it. I tried watching it. I tried. And yeah. Oh, you're doing the American Psycho. Ooh, good for you. Yeah. Actually when they recreated that with Huey Lewis in the News, the whole tarp scene in American Psycho, where they lay down the tarp, and he's talking about how Huey Lewis in the News is underrated and all that stuff. And actually they redid it with Huey Lewis as the murder victim. That was fucking brilliant. It really was. Cordell says it's breaking my heart is all. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, there's a lot of things people look at me and they're like, you don't fucking like that? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, sorry, man. But We all have different strokes for different folks, as they say. And that just happens to be one of them I don't like. Yeah. And I don't know what it is. I mean, again, like I said, I think it's because Odenkirk, I believe he was a writer for the Conan show, the Conan O'Brien, like the Late Show. And he was on episodes of that. And I think that's where I first saw him. And so I forever have him associated with that. And I can't take him seriously. Yeah. So I believe he was, let's take a look at Odenkirk. There we go. Bob Odenkirk. Before he was in Better Call Saul. Yeah. Oh, and the Tim and Eric Awesome show. God, that I couldn't stand. It was also his sense of humor that I didn't like for some reason. I mean, it just yeah, Saturday Night Live, he was a writer there. Yeah, Late Night with Conan O'Brien. There we go. So he was yeah, 1993 to 1994. It was only on there for a year, and um, he only wrote 9 episodes, but he was in there. He actually kind of played some bits here and there, and also on Saturday Night Live, and that's where I'm stuck in my mind with him on that. He was also the Dana Carvey show too. He actually has a lot of missteps. He was on Get a Life, which was a horrible show, but actually, it's the Chris Elliott show on Fox, which is so cringeworthy when you watch it. It's, oh my God, it's so bad. He was also on the Dennis Miller show. So Late Night with Conan O'Brien was the only like good thing he was on other than Saturday Night Live. The Ben Stiller show, I don't know if anyone remembered that. So he was on that for 12 episodes that he wrote. The Dana Carvey show, Dr. Katz, the Jenny McCarthy show. Mr. Show with Bob and David. Oh, yeah, no. And I mean, Tenacious D, um, Tom Goes to the Mayor, Derek and Simon. I mean, like I said, he's in a lot of shit shows, which I think kind of colored. I know all of these shows and I've watched some of them here and there. And I think I've so associated him with a shit show that I can't watch him and I can't take him seriously. What about Sandler and Uncut Gems? I mean, some comedians are actually able to. I can't watch that one. Sorry, I've stopped watching anything with Adam Sandler in it. Uh, yeah, I think what was the last thing I watched him in? Um, fuck, I can't even remember what it was. I think I got like 5 minutes in and I turned it off and I was like, yeah, fuck this shit. I never want to see anything from him again. I want to say it was probably one of his Netflix movies or something like that. And yeah, I've never gone back to watch anything with Adam Sandler in it. It happens, man. I get a point where I get biased about it and I won't see it. I will have to actively like tell my brain not to be biased about it. Like I'm gonna see Nobody at some point in time because everyone keeps talking about it. Odenkirk started to exist with Breaking Bad in my eyes. So Cordell, yeah, I've known him a lot longer than that. So I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Oh God, that was bad. And then again, that actually adds the double whammy for me of Sandler and Kevin James. I will not watch fucking anything with Kevin James in it. Yeah, that man is completely dead to me. Yeah. But which is yeah. How we got on this subject, I don't know. Oh, we were talking about action movie kind of, fantasy, revenge fantasy shit. So, but yeah, going back to Walter Goggins being the gem on all of this. Yeah. I did like his character in this. Just buying up people's gifts from Santa, and they all have the little plaque on the bottom, or of the gift that says "Made in Santa's Workshop." Yeah, it was an odd thing. Again, like I said, it was going into the fucking nuance of these characters instead of delving into a bigger story that was already there that you could have fleshed it out. But instead, you went into the fucking nuance of the characters. I mean, sure, if you were doing a 3-hour movie, I could see that, but yeah, the story needed to be fleshed out quite a bit more. It really did. Well, with that note, what else do I have going on this week? Well, tomorrow is this little show you might not have heard about called Loki. Loki episode 4 is going to be tomorrow. Thursday, I'm going to be off. Friday is going to be Star Wars The Bad Batch. Not that anyone's watching it, because obviously from the numbers of my views, people aren't watching it. Saturday is hopefully going to be Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. I'm on the fence on Sunday about doing another spoiler alert, because that last one was kind of loopy. Also, it's the 4th of July as well here in the States, so I don't know how many people are actually going to join in and watch. I don't know. I could do it. If you guys are interested, just let me know. Just comment down below in the comment section. Let me know. The video here. Comment down below. Sunday I'll be off. Monday I will. Monday I'll be off. Tuesday of next week will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm going to be doing as of yet, but I'll figure something out. Isn't the 4th of July everywhere? No, it's not. You're thinking of the movie Independence Day, which is different than real life. Yeah. So, thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here, right next to Batmite. See where Batmite is? That's right. That's a new addition by there. There's Batmite. So take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below. And if you can, also hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages. YouTube, this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for Loki. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, Santa knows what you've done. He knows all the dirty stuff that you've done. And you're just getting that lump of coal anyway, so might as well just deal with it. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, and stay safe. Have a good night, everybody.